Hello, everybody. I won't continue with the video unless you say hello back. Out loud. Alright, if you actually did say hello, what's wrong with you? Anyway, it's time for another still frame review. This next review comes by suggestion from my sister Lydia. Today I will review the Netflix original series, A Series of Unfortunate Events. Based on the book series by the same name, A Series of Unfortunate Events details how three recently orphaned children, Violet, Klaus, and Sonny Baudelaire, escape from their evil guardian, Count Olaf, and go on a journey to discover the secrets behind a mysterious organization named VFD, which had some connection to their parents. Along the way, they are constantly threatened by Olaf and his evil acting troupe, always about to be either kidnapped or killed. All narrated by the delightfully deadpan Patrick Warburton, playing the role of the book's author, Lemony Snicket. This series has a lot going for it. Despite the theme song stating that every single episode is nothing but dismay, this series is nothing but a laugh riot. It is super funny. Someone usually dies in every episode, but it doesn't even feel like that dark of a comedy. It's just a comedy. It's a weird series, but not inaccessible. No matter how disturbing or non sequitur the story gets, it's always funny, charming, and pleasing to look at. So you don't feel like you have to work in order to enjoy it.
It can be a good town again.
Look in your hearts and ask yourselves, what do you really want?
To burn children.
And it is a nice show to look at, with the specific color themes integrated into the imaginative production design. And there's lots of diffused lighting, creating that smooth gradation between highlights and shadows, which is one of my favorite lighting styles, although it sort of wreaks havoc with recording a streaming video, so there's a lot of color banding in this particular recording. But trust me, in its natural habitat, it looks good. Also, this show has one of the best climaxes ever, where not only does everything in the present story get wrapped up, but we also learn the entire backstory undergirding everything with all these characters' origins, and all these little throwaway jokes, or what we thought were throwaway jokes at the beginning, actually serve a larger purpose in this intricately woven backstory that really wraps up everything very nicely. I can't spoil too much, but it does make you rethink everything you already thought about the characters and the timeline of the series, and it's a very satisfying and emotional ending. Way more emotional than you would normally think for a comedy series. And this show overall is just unique. Everything about it seems completely original, even though a lot of the different aspects of the show are really just copies of other famous styles. For instance, it's got a Wes Anderson-inspired composition, or Miller and Lord style of humor, and of course the entire story is already based on an existing book series. And the first three of those books were already adapted into a 2004 movie starring Jim Carrey. But when all these already heavily established styles from different areas come together into one piece, it creates a whole new style, one that really feels unique and creates one of the most memorable pieces of streaming television. So that's a lot of praise. Is there any non-praise I have? There's a few, but very little. While every adult can love this show, it's still technically marketed toward kids, and I don't appreciate the innuendos and some especially dark moments that happen. I don't like that kind of stuff being mixed in with kids media, but it's few and far between, and every family's different. Personally, I just think there should be a little more separation. The heavy integration of CGI can be a little distracting at times. The production design is created in such a way that it gets hard sometimes to determine what is fake-looking CGI and what's fake-looking reality, and it all blends together pretty nicely, but there are some spots where it's just off-putting, especially when weird physics get involved. But I don't mind it as much, because even if they use some weird CGI thing to get out of the problem that would never work in real life, it's okay, because the rule of the series is always from the frying pan into the fire, or fryer, depending on how your kitchen is set up. Every time the Baudelaires get out of a sticky situation using some weird CGI something, we always know they're going to end up in a worse spot than where they started off. So it doesn't feel like a cheat to me. Also, there are some plot points in B stories that get left hanging and are never fully resolved. But that's okay because most of those side plots with side characters that don't get resolved, they are usually left at a low point as well. I was a little disappointed with the actors in this series, especially comparing them to like Meryl Streep and Jim Carrey in the original movie, but they still do a decent job. The child actors are not as fun to watch as all the other colorful characters, but that's due to the nature of them being children, and they do perform well with what they were given. At first, I was disappointed with Neil Patrick Harris as Olaf. Compared to Jim Carrey, he is way more quiet and still, and at first I thought more boring.
Oh.
But as I saw the whole series develop, I realized that there was an intentionality behind his quiet stillness, and it actually gave him a little bit more menace. But the best thing I think Neil Patrick Harris brought to the role was this sense of immaturity and stupidity.
The three of you better... Wait. You two better... Wait. Where's the midget? 1, 2... You're not the Baudelaires. Who are you?
Which just heightens the frustration between having these smart, adult-like, mature, intelligent children always being thwarted through dumb luck and this unintelligent, childish villain. So for almost every negative I have, there's still a positive element to it that almost completely negates that negative complaint. So taking everything as a whole, a series of unfortunate events, in my book, deserves an A for amazing, a word which here means actually pretty good. So whether you're a fan of dark comedies or not, a series of unfortunate events really does such an excellent job at making itself accessible, I really do believe anyone will find something to enjoy about it. It's not only one of the best Netflix original series, but I think it's one of the best and most unique television shows to come out in the last decade. I highly recommend it if you have yet to see it. But if you have seen it, what did you think? On a scale of A to F, where would you rank it? Let me know in the comments and leave any suggestions for other movies or shows you'd like me to review. That's it for now. See you later.